For the first time, the National Security Agency is talking about the secrets taken by Edward Snowden. The leader of the NSA's internal investigation spoke to senior correspondent John Miller on last night's 60 Minutes.
Rick Leggett says the 1.7 million stolen documents include material that could cripple the NSA's mission.
Of all the things he took, is there anything in there that worries you or concerns you more than anything else?
It's an exhaustive list of the requirements that have been levied against the National Security Agency, and what that gives is what topics we're interested in, where our gaps are, but additional information about U.S. capabilities and U.S. gaps that's provided as part of that.
So I'm going to assume that there's one in there about China, and there's one in there about Iran, and there's another in there about Russia.
Many more than one.
If it's many more than one?
Yes.
How many of those are there?
About 31,000.
If those documents fell into their hands, what good would it do them?
It would give them a roadmap of what we know, what we don't know, and give them implicitly a way to protect their information from the U.S. intelligence community's view.
For an adversary in the intelligence game, that's a gold mine.
It is the keys to the kingdom.
John Miller once worked in the Office of the Director of National Intelligence. There he saw firsthand how secretly the NSA operates. John, good morning.
Good morning.
First question, as you ask, if they have those secrets, is the NSA sure that they have them, or are they simply operating on the assumption that they have to believe they have them?
Well, there's a couple things. Edward Snowden stole, according to the NSA, or up to or around 1.7 million documents. The estimates of the people doing the damage control or damage assessment there is that he may have leaked about 200,000 of those to journalists. These documents are not among those, as are really, statistically, most of the documents he left with. So one question is, if his agenda was to expose things that were a risk to Americans' privacy, why did he take requirements documents, which basically tells the enemy what we know and what we don't know, since that has nothing to do with it? And then the second question is, what did he intend to do with the rest of them?
According to reports, we don't know the entirety of what he took. Also, are they concerned that he may have bugged some of the system?
Well, one of the things they did was, because of Edward Snowden's role as a system administrator, his access to those systems, and his background as a computer specialist, they went on the assumption that something could have been put into the system that could go off later. So they really replaced, to the tune of about $26 million, we believe, every computer, classified and unclassified, and most of the cables there in Hawaii.
So assume the enemy has them, whoever our enemy is in particular cases. What does the NSA do now?
Well, that's one of those things where you just lose time, because, you know, if an adversary has that and they say, here's what we know about that adversary, they change all that. And when they say, here's what we don't know about the adversary, they say, well, we don't need to worry about that for now. So really, it tells them how to counter-program intelligence, and there's not much the NSA can do about all that.
This is one of the first times we heard from Rick Leggett, who's leading this investigation. Why do you think they gave you access?
Because we spent a number of months meeting down there and getting them to agree that while they declassified everything and came out with a statement every time there was a Snowden leak, their story wasn't getting out as a narrative, and that there would be an opportunity in one place to tell the whole thing. And this was hard for them. This is not what they do. They're not used to having cameras troop through or asking questions about classified programs. But the idea was, if we could sit down and have that conversation, a lot of people seem to be interested in it.
John Miller, thank you. Good to see you. Good report.